Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. One of this season's most eagerly awaited theatrical events is playwright Matthew Lopez's two-parter, The Inheritance. Following a critically acclaimed run in London, it will open here at the Barrymore Theatre on November 17th, and we drop by to meet the cast during a break in rehearsal.
It all started with my desire to take my favorite novel, Howard's End, and retell it as a gay story in the 21st century. And pretty much every decision that I made after that came from that initial impulse. This whole entire process has been me looking at E.M. Forster and saying, what would you have written if you were alive today? And trying to honor that, but also bringing myself to it as well. It's very important to me that the play be funny. It was not anything I ever really intended to do, but as we started working on it, I was like, this play needs to have life in it. It needs to feel alive. It can't feel like Eat Your Vegetables. It can't feel like a 6.5 hour long history lesson. The things that we arrive at the course of the play are arrived at, I hope, honestly, because we ask the audience to laugh as much as they do, which of course is a perfect way to ask an audience to start caring about characters, to feel invested in their journey, and especially when we're asking an audience to take a very long, epic journey with us, we need the audience to feel taken care of. We need the audience to feel like they're in a very warm place they want to continue to come back to act after act after act all day long.
I play Eric Glass in The Inheritance, who is based on the character of Margaret Schlegel in Howard's End, played by Emma Thompson in the film. And I only make that distinction because I'd love to be Emma Thompson in my life. But in any case, Eric is a gay 30-something New Yorker, Jewish, grew up on the Upper West Side, inherited a rent-controlled apartment from his grandparents who were immigrants. And like Margaret in Howard's End, Eric is an idealist and has a very strong moral code and a spiritual code that he attempts to live by in the modern world, but he gets blown off course and, winds up discovering the man who he truly is through the play.
Toby's vivacity, his appetite for life, for language, he truly grabs life by the horns and lives it to the fullest degree, and I so admire that about him. He can walk into a room, take control of it. He wants to party, he wants to have a good time, he wants everyone around him to have a good time. He's sort of like the innocent baby of the group who just wants to laugh and tell stories, and he's very, very witty and clever and funny. And it's for an actor to be able to step into shoes like that, to try and fill them each and every night, it doesn't get any better than this.
Warmth, lovingness, humor, and being in it is like that. I mean, this company is embodying that spirit, embodying it and giving it away to the audience. Oh, what a treat, really.
I am so happy to be working on this play. I did it in London for a year. I fell in love with it the minute I read it. The minute I heard Stephen Daldry was directing it, I was like, I actually said yes before I even read it. Because when a director like that wants you to do a project, only a fool would say no. And then I read Matthew's play, and I just was completely floored by it. And I was floored by how humane and heartbreaking it was, but mainly I love how funny he is. I think not since Terrence McNally have we had a voice in the American theater that is so alive with a comic spirit that can also come in and pierce you in the heart in the best possible way.
Really, and it's a real gymnasium, this particular piece as well. Once you step on the stage, I don't leave the stage until the end of part one. So once you're in it, you're in it, and regardless of where the performance takes you that particular day, you start at A and you finish at Z. You go on the whole journey with the audience, and that's a unique and powerful thing to share with an audience.
Yeah, I think you can't write a play about New York and not have it be funny. I mean, it's in our blood, we have to laugh to get through the delayed trains and to get through the massive amounts of tourists and everything. And so we got to laugh, and it's through that laughing that we also can kind of collectively get to a deeper level of understanding to experience the more emotional parts of the play.
It's a laugh riot. I mean, we it's so funny because when you're in rehearsals, like you get accustomed to the jokes, but like when you have an audience, they just tickle us. Like there'll be moments on stage where we're like, we didn't know that it was that funny, so like we're laughing at the audience reaction, and then like seeing Andrew and Kyle do something new at night, like it just blows us up. It's amazing.
I always think if you're trying to send something with a message through, you're trying to get something important across, the best way to get through people is to make them laugh first. And Matthew wrote such a great comedic piece, and especially the way it's structured, we start with really light, funny stuff, and we sort of weave in the really intense stuff. And by the time we get to that stuff, we've disarmed the audience so beautifully that I think we handle it really well.
It's also not just how actors connect, but I think how queer people connect is a lot of times through laughter. And so to like understand a queer community now today, you have to sort of laugh with them first.
And they also did a really good job of casting a bunch of goofballs to come in and make really already funny moments even funnier. So yeah, it's a really fun environment to work with.
The really great thing about doing a play is that you're with a whole cast of people who you get to know very well and who you come to really fall in love with. And that's happened here. It happened quickly here. I mean, we've been in rehearsals for a little while now, but I've really fallen in love with a lot of the people in the play. And it's important for such a long play, especially, that there is a common purpose among us and a bond that is unbreakable.
There's actually so many funny moments. There's so much fun. The relationships between Toby Darling and Eric Glass is hysterical. I mean, there's so many fun moments between Eric and his friends and Toby and his friends that you don't even realize that you're seeing something that might have a lot of weight to it until a while into the play. You're like, oh yeah, this is about something actually quite intense that has happened throughout our history, but we find so much joy in the happy times too that these characters have had with each other. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
This play means so much to so many people. The response that we've gotten from the stage door has been so impactful that we get to hear their stories, and you actually get to spend time with them after the show while you're like signing playbills or posters. They get to connect with you and kind of tell you their story, which is kind of at the end of the day the best part about it, because we weren't around when the epidemic happened, and so we get to relate to so many people and hear their side of their story, and it kind of just gives us more fuel for the fire, because it's a long show, but hearing what we're doing to the audiences, it makes it all that much more impactful and gives us the fire to make it through an 8-show week with this 7-hour play.
It really is a blessing, I mean, I think that so many queer people, we create these communities, we create these families, that are separate from our own, and it's about being seen. It's about like receiving that, like, understood and like being recognized. And I mean, to be a part, I mean, it's a blessing to be a part of a show that is like really about like creating a chosen family, and yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for the families that have like opened their doors to me, and I'm grateful for the families that I created within my friend groups, and without them, I feel like I wouldn't be able to have gone as far as I have,